Laguna Seca, a track that gives you zero room for mistakes, minimal overtaking possibilities, and we have 40 minutes of all of that in this BMW. Starting pretty much at the back of the pack, we set a qualifying time of absolutely horrendous on purpose to secure that we start pretty much down the back of the list. It's sometimes better to qualify, you get more points for it than you are to start off and not qualify. I don't know. I could be wrong there. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments below. Coming around turn one, bit of smoke kicked up. Everybody is being very fair with each other, giving each other space. Once the pack starts stretching out, we'll be then in for a shout to start overtaking. I would also like to point out that there are hypercars in this race. This is a mixed lobby of GT3s and hypercars, so the Tasmanian Devils will be upon us within a couple of laps. And the reason I call them Tasmanian Devils is, well, you couldn't find another word to describe them. They are hypercars, they are insanely quick, and everybody wants to get through. And talking about getting through, we're not going to get through this. Absolutely lovely. Can't believe that's happened. We have front bumper damage, front suspension damage. The car is not driving straight and true. We have a Corvette looking to make a move up the inside there. Not a great place to overtake, especially considering this car is hurting. It's easier to concede, so I backed out and left them to have that position. We're now down to P18. Not only that, as you can see, when we took that left-hander, that right-hand front wheel was scrubbing. We're going to have to be very mindful of the tyre temperatures in this race. It's going to be so difficult to manage that. What is going on here? Okay, well, we all came out in one piece, so I guess everybody was just giving each other ample amount of space to make it through that final corner. Can't grumble too much at that. Up in front, though, a Ferrari has a moment and loses their rear wing. I will say, I think that car's going to be quite a handful to drive, especially trying to finish in this race. We're only lap 2 of 29.4. At the moment, it's gone to 29.6. Things do change, and so does how to take a right-hander by doing a 360 on the way in. Probably not by choice, but at least they look good and scooted off out the way. That is another position gain. We're now up to P14. Absolutely ideal, catching up to the Wolfpacker cars up ahead. We did have a moment in the corkscrew. I'll explain that further on in the video, but we're now back down to position 17. Not good. Right behind a driver who has the red tag above their name, which means they've been in a lot of accidents, and they're in a Porsche. To be fair though, I will say that the badge system is a bit funky, because you could be going in a race and someone could constantly hit into you, and that affects your driver safety rating as well. So sometimes you got to take an incident badge and things like that with a grain of salt. What will be working in our favour though is once we overtake the Porsche, we can bunny hop through the Wolfpacker cars that is in front of us at the moment. Well, the thought that counts, I guess. They managed to take themselves out for us. That is another 2 positions gained. Now we just need to overtake that Porsche up ahead, who did have a better exit out of that final corner than we did. But we have slipstream on our side. We're going to be vacuumed in. Maybe able to brake a little bit later as well. BMW has very good brakes. Nice and tight into this corner. Down to first gear. Kissing the apexes. Out the other side. Powering on through. Look how we close that door upon them. Ooh, there's a hypercar within this bag of cars. Well, they probably saw what the Ferrari did and thought, hold my beer, I could do better. And we can be the judges of that, because at the end of this video, we have crash cam where we see all the incidences in this race and be able to judge what happens. So stick around for that. We are really closing the door on this Porsche. The hard part is, at this part of the track, it's very difficult to overtake. You might be able to get a better corner exit here, but it really is, well, not going to happen because we have a hypercar looking to make a move. I'm going to stick to the right hand side, give the hypercar the position, and not wanting to be involved in any more incidences. It's easier to back out, and the Porsche being totally unfazed by the hypercar being there. And I will definitely say credit where credit's due to Mr. Jackson in the hypercar. They waited patiently. Absolutely beautiful thing to see. It doesn't always go that way, and that's not the way you should go on this track. Hypercars do, or are very well known of being caught up with the GT3 cars, but that comes on further in this race. Catch up to Viper in another Porsche up ahead, who also has another red exclamation mark above their name. Hard braking down to second gear into turn 1, They have gone quite deep into this corner here. Accelerating out the other side though, we are not too far away from them. We have another blue flag. There's a hypercar working their way up into us. Knowing they've made that mistake, pressure's upon them. I'm going to stick my nose up the inside into this corner here. Nice and tight, give them space. Committed, overtaken, job done. Hypercar to overtaking the both of us to our left hand side. That is perfect timing. We have them in the straight line. Last place you want to have a hypercar overtaking you is up towards the corkscrew, or in the corkscrew or after it. It really is not the ideal place. We are making gains upon H-Cloud up in front in the Lexus, but we are under pressure from Sylvia in the Porsche behind. And I'm just going to surrender that position to them because this car is injured and some battles aren't worth having, especially when you have a hypercar that helps you out. Yeah, that wasn't part of the plan, I'm not going to lie, but, you know, as position gains, position gained. Hypercar in the rearview mirror, out the way we go. Do you mind? Give space. You don't need to actually touch my mirrors. You just need to be alongside. You know, do you not see what happened a moment ago where Hypercar got very close to a Porsche? Just saying. I'm talking about getting closer to a car. H-Cloud is not too far away. We have been 2 seconds a lap faster than them this lap around, which means during this lap we'll be right up their bumper, looking to make an overtake, applying pressure to that car, and I just hope they don't defend. It really is going to be crazy if they do defend. We're lap 9 out of almost 30 laps this race. Defending for 20 laps is not going to happen, but applying pressure upon them will hopefully make them make a mistake. I just need to catch up to them because sometimes this BMW likes the corner and sometimes it doesn't like the corner, probably due to the damage. They're going to have a lot of damage when they hit that wall, just saying. What a brutal way to end that lap. And it really is easily done. As soon as you go over the dip of that curve, the back end likes to give out. The car is unsettled. It's so hard to keep this car sometimes on a track, especially when you're under pressure from another person behind. And talking about pressure, the person doesn't have to physically be there for you to feel under pressure. Sylvia behind in a Ferrari has been slowly making gains upon them. I'm pushing this car hard and harder to see if we can try and break them away, and we made the ultimate mistake. Apply the power too early, too hard, coming out the corkscrew, and that has lost us quite a, well, one position. But it's one position and 2 hypercars, and probably a little bit more damage to the front end. That corkscrew is absolutely brutal if you get onto that power too early and too aggressively. Be mindful of that, be patient, and just wait for the right time. So yeah, we're down to position 11, not ideal, but position 12 is 9 seconds away. We're not under pressure from them, and the person behind them is 30 seconds away. So that is a, well, quite a lot of time to be away from somebody else. Not only that, we're only 1.3 seconds away from the Ferrari up ahead. I don't think we'll be able to catch them up. The tyres are still getting hotter and hotter, and it's getting increasingly harder to lose or dissipate the temperature out of the front wheels. I am pushing the brake bias more and more to the rear. If you look at the dashboard, it's at 44% on the front wheels, and I'm still struggling to dissipate the heat out of the front tyres. That suspension damage has been absolutely brutal. We are only 1 second away from the Ferrari up ahead, but in the rearview mirror, you see that red BMW? Yeah, that is position 1. While I will say we are on the last lap, position 1 being right up our trumpet and being considerate, I would say, is less than ideal. Yeah, kind of embarrassing. I haven't been lapped this bad in a long time, but it is a 40-minute race, and if they're going to be 1, maybe 2 seconds a lap quicker than you can understand over 30 laps, you know, that is a minute, and yeah, not something you want to happen or see. You never know your luck though. The Ferrari might not understand that's position 1 behind them, try and defend that position, then 2 get in the collision, we gain that position from both of them. Well, one of them, the other one is just there for the fun of it. You never know your luck, but I don't think the luck is going to work in our favour, considering we had an accident in the first lap of a 40-minute race. Luck has not been on our side in this race whatsoever. But we're coming to terms with it. We're finishing the race off in position 11. Absolutely ideal, but it doesn't mean it's the end of this video. We're going to go back to Laguna Seca. We're going to change things up. We're not going to be running the BMW. We're going to be running the Corvette, and what a machine that car really is. Our Porsche's going quite slow. Yeah, and I also got a penalty just on the final corner. Absolutely lovely. Oh, it's the end of the race. Look at that. Let's go and get into this Corvette and see this car absolutely sing. Again, we kind of qualified, but I didn't realize I qualified too good and I got position 7. I was kind of hoping to get back of the pack again like we did earlier and we can let things unfold. But the Ferrari up ahead has been flashing the hazard lights for some unknown reason. Probably telling everybody they're going to split in half and one goes one way and one goes the other way. Maybe not. We are all surviving turn 1. By the looks of it, through the corner we go. One thing I will say about this Corvette is an absolute animal. It really is a brute of a machine. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. Oh dear. What a start to the race. We have not been having the best of lucks, have we? We're down to position 9. Yeah. That is terrible, Flash. Okay. Let's restart. Let's refresh. Let's let this Corvette sing because it has one of the best soundtracks in this game. It is unreal on Overrun. So while we're not in position 1, we do have position 1 in the bag in our mental minds because the way this car sounds. That's all I can say. You got to have a silver lining in every dirty cloud, I guess. Right. Let's catch up to this Ferrari up ahead. Mr. Graffi. Get that position away from them. They have a red banner above their name, which means they've been in many accidents. Again, like I said earlier, doesn't always mean the case. Come on, Mr. Graffi, get out of the way. We want to overtake. We want this position down. Oh, they surrendered it. Thank you ever so much. Much appreciated. Yep. See what I mean? Sometimes they might have the red badge. Doesn't mean that they have been the instigator. Just could mean that it's been collected a lot of times. Easily done, especially when you're down the back of the pack like we were. Going down for turn 1 and 2 and dust as a car off to our left hand side. Not ideal place to be. You want to stop turning left after the double apexes and carry on a straight line. That's an Aston Martin in the wall. Aston Martin in the wall. Okay, we're gaining a few positions overall. We are catching up to quite a few cars, or they're managing to bin it for us. Another yellow flag. A yellow flag. What's going on here? Oh, typical Mustang doing Mustang things and meeting walls at an alarming rate. To be fair though, in this race we have a couple of Mustangs. In the previous race didn't have many. I don't really see them in the gold class of racing. Oh, there's a car off to the left hand side. That is another position gain. We're now up to P4. Everybody has just been making their way merrily off the track and we have been gaining without having to battle or overtake or anything, which is really nice. What isn't so nice is what the Aston Martin up ahead does in a moment. Now, we have been catching him up slowly, Mr. Rash. Yeah, Mr. R. Rash, which is probably a very sore kind of rash. I'm not too sure. I shouldn't take the mick like that. Okay, but what happens is we end up having an opportunist moment. Opportunity to overtake, but Mr. Rash, well, has different ideas. Now, I'm not too sure what happens here, but we'll have a look in crash cam at the end. But we are now coming to the final corner. They don't have a very good exit. This Corvette absolutely sings on corner exits, gets the power down. Let's go. Gonna move over to the left hand side and claim turn 1. Heading towards the braking zone, hard on the brakes. The Aston Martin to the right turns into us. Like we wasn't there. Now we have front and rear aero damage. Absolutely lovely. Only took 8 laps for further damage to occur in a race. And that was damage caused by a car not understanding either braking or wanting to turn into us. Yeah, that was not nice. I'm not going to lie. Very, very frustrating. It actually has affected this car. Now, I understand it's only yellow, but you can really feel it in the corners. It just doesn't want to corner as well as it did previously. So we're going to move the brake bias more to the rear again. As you can see, the front tires are getting warm. That is another Mustang. That was position 1, now in the wall. We now have Garcia in the BMW up ahead. But yeah, as I was saying, the front tires are getting warm again. I've got to try and keep the brake bias more to the rear. It's very, very difficult, especially over a longer and longer stints of races, to keep those tires cool. And you do find yourself moving that brake bias more and more to the rear. There's a parked Porsche on the right. Could have parked anywhere, but it parked just there. You know, each to their own, not going to grumble. everybody has a right to race the way they want to race to a certain degree, as long as they're within the rules. And I don't see anything in the rules saying you can't park at the side of the track, join the crowd and have a cup of tea and a hot dog. Or burger, they could be having a burger. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, whether they're a hot dog or burger. It's kind of interesting to know. Right, Garcia 2.2 seconds away. Let's try and claim them down. Start applying pressure and, well, you never know, your luck might be in for a chance of actually getting position 1. Either way, even if we don't get it, I'm very, very satisfied that we got the P2. I mean, look at what happened at the start of the race and look at where we are now. Incredible. What isn't incredible is the way I took the corner. That was absolutely horrendous. Nearly went gravel castle building. Don't want to be doing that, and I want to be applying pressure to Garcia up in front. We're only 1.5 seconds away. Corvette steady coming through the corkscrew, and I will give credit where credit's due. The Corvette is very steady going through the corkscrew. It does behave itself compared to the BMW. You can get onto that power early, but I do find that going into second gear really does help a lot. And what also helps a lot is this race, there were no hypercars. This was about 2 o'clock in the morning. So there really wasn't many people in this race. Oh, there's a lapped car up ahead, which means they're going to be slowing down the BMW, which means gives us the opportunity to catch up and overtake. We might actually be able to do a double overtake if all goes to plan. But not everything does work in your favor. Mercedes backed out, gave the position to the BMW and myself, and the BMW has been heavily defending, parking on the apexes, well, closing the door and every opportunity they have. It's been very difficult to look for a pass. Not only that, they haven't really been making many mistakes. Yes, the pressure has got to them, but they haven't gone off enough that I can capitalize up the inside, or been obvious enough that I can just get the power down and through we go, because when they have made a mistake, they have cut back over and closed that door. Whether you agree to it or not, let me know down in the comments below. Breaking down in second gear, looking for that undercut, trying to get that power as early as possible. I think the BMW just has that little bit better of a getaway. The Corvette singing happy, you can hear that overrun of the engine, sounds impeccable, not gonna lie. Getting up to the top of the corkscrew, hard on the brakes. Can we look for a move here? Gonna be very tight into first, clicking into second, powering out the other side, right up behind the BMW, singing round this corner. Come on, nice up the inside here, right up to their rear bumper. Are they going to defend this final corner? It's going to be very interesting. They're parking on the apex. There we go. Move over to the right. I'm going to swing over to the left, and they turn under braking. Do you think that's turning under braking? I'm not too sure, but that is accelerating whilst turning. Oh dear me. Let's hope we don't lose this position to Neil in the Mustang behind. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you think about that final corner, because as soon as I looked at the inside, they turned left and closed that door. Is that turning under braking? I don't know. Would I have gone for that move? No, but the thought was there. Let's head over to crash cam now. Well, as Aston Martin gets the door royally shut closed. I mean, can't argue with the Porsche. Closing the door is closing the door. Probably a bit rough. Not as rough as choosing not to brake all too well in this hypercar. Talking about cars, let's become the car collector of the week and send the Porsche straight off the track. That's not the only incident in that corner. Coming up here, we have a Ferrari looking to make a move. 3 cars come wide, and the poor Ferrari hits the wall at quite the alarming rate. Coming up behind in this hypercar, well, this is where we all actually get caught up in the traffic and have a crash. Ferrari rejoining the track after having a moment. They have no rear spoiler. Yeah, sometimes you just got to stay off the track and not become a collection organisation. Nobody likes a collector. Well, it depends what you're collecting, really. And that Porsche is collecting the hypercar. To be fair though, the hypercar was pushing this Lexus along, so you can understand the frustration to a certain degree. And I'm not joking, they were literally following a Lexus and pushing them along the straights. This one pushed it a little bit too hard in the bends. Lost a wheel, lost a wing, ruined the race, and that is race over for them. And the beautifully green hypercar has also met their own demise. Well, I wouldn't say it's their own demise, I'd say the car, or the viewing car, was at fault for that situation. This car was already gone before the hypercar hit him. But this one here, I would definitely put it on the black hypercar. I don't know, Gotta be patient. Coming up the inside of a car that's usually taking the racing line is not the way to go. Got to be patient, and that's why I call them the Tasmanian Devils, because they really are. This red one here has been known, or is very well known in this race as being quite destructive. So be mindful of a red Ferrari. Not too sure what happened there. Probably bottomed out, but the Porsche's back facing the right way. Just lost a couple of seconds. Bit of a crappy move from the Lamborghini there. I think that's a Lamborghini, the green one. But yeah, each to their own, I guess. And well, that is another car down. Again, patience is needed all around. Not too sure what the BMW's doing. Cutting up a hypercar, probably not the smartest thing to do. And neither is going into the back of a GT3 car, you know? Facing the wrong way, less than ideal, but at least there's an ambulance there to help you if you need it. This BMW forgets to brake and decides that the other BMW is the great way to slow down your vehicle. Yeah, this green hypercar is not impressed, neither was the Ferrari, but they're both off the track, and I'm surprised that Ferrari's come off so well. Second race, not a lot really happens. This is one accident, or a series of one accidents, where a few cars get involved in turn 2 shenanigans and turn 3. And this is me and Aston Martin. So it explains what happened to the Aston Martin. There's just a bit of sand, hit the brakes, lost control, into the side of the Corvette. Game over. Thank you all for watching.